Look at this nonsense you call soup. I said look at it. My son married a woman who cannot boil water without disgracing this family. To fiakwa.
Ma, I cooked that soup for 3 hours. 3 hours, Ma. I woke up at 5 in the morning.
5 in the morning? And you still managed to produce this? Kai, even my goat at home cooks better than you and she has no hands. This is my kitchen, Ma. This is my home. You cannot keep doing this to me. I am Emeka's wife. Who paid for this stove? Who bought this pot you used to disgrace us? This house has my son's name on it. You are a visitor. And visitors do not talk back.
God is watching all of you.
God may be watching, but I'm standing right here.
One would think that getting married brings peace. A home of your own. A person of your own. The quiet settling of two lives choosing each other deliberately. But nobody tells you that peace depends entirely on the kind of family you enter. Some families open their arms and welcome. Others open their arms and slowly, quietly begin to hold on too tight. The Okafor family was the second kind. The town of Oguta walked slowly on most mornings. Cockerels before the sun, women before their husbands, smoke rising from kitchens before words were exchanged. It was the kind of town where everyone knew your name, your business, and your mother's opinion about both. And no mother had more opinions than Ngozi Okafor, known to everyone simply as Mama Emeka. She had carried Emeka for 9 months and had never truly put him down. When he was 3, she chased away the neighbor's boy who made him cry. When he was 10, she went to his school and sat outside his classroom because she did not trust his teacher's tone. When he was 17 and a girl named Chisom sent him a handwritten letter, Mama Emeka found it, read it, and paid Chisom's mother a visit that was polite in language and devastating in effect. Chisom never looked at Emeka again. That evening, Mama Emeka stirred her soup without a trace of guilt. Papa Emeka leaned against the kitchen door frame watching her.
Ngozi, what did you say to that girl's mother?
I only told her the truth.
The truth? About what?
Her daughter is too forward for my son, always giggling near the gate, writing letters like a woman with no home training. I did what any good mother would do. Emeka is 17. Let the boy breathe. Breathe, Ke? Is it breathing that will protect him from the wrong company? You men are all the same. You wait until a child is ruined before you pay attention. A boy who never falls will never learn to rise. Go and sit down, Chukwuemeka. The soup will be ready soon. She changed the subject. She always did. By the time Emeka turned 25, 3 women had tried and failed. Adaeze came first, warm, beautiful, the kind of woman who walked into a room and owned it quietly. She lasted 4 months.
That Adaeze, she greeted me and did not kneel. I am your mother, not her classmate.
Mama, she's from Lagos. It's not their custom to...
She is marrying into this family, not Lagos. If she cannot respect now, what will happen in my son's house? I'm telling you, leave is that girl.
I will talk to her.
Good boy. You've always been wise. He did not talk to her. He slowly pulled away instead. Adaeze left without being told to. She simply read the silence and saved herself. Blessing followed, a school teacher with 3 degrees and a laugh that could fill a room. Too much education has spoiled that one. She wants to argue everything.
Every time I speak, she has a counter. My son needs a home, not a courtroom.
Mama, Blessing is just confident. She means no disrespect.
Confidence without submission is pride, my son. Mark my words. Blessing lasted 6 months. Her last words to Emeka were measured and sad.
I like you, Emeka. I genuinely do. But I am not in a relationship with just you. Your mother is always in the room, even when she's not there.
Blessing, just give it more time. Time for what? For her to accept me? Emeka, she doesn't want to accept anyone. That's not something time fixes. She hung up. He stared at his phone for a long time. Nneka was the third. Quiet, domestic, everything Mama Emeka claimed she wanted. She lasted 3 months and left only a letter. I cannot compete with your mother. No woman should have to. Nneka. One evening, after Blessing had gone, Emeka sat on the veranda with his father. The sun was descending. The air smelled like rain that had not yet decided to fall. Papa, Do you think I'll ever marry? You will marry, but first you must decide something. What? Whether you are a son or a man. Can I not be both? You can, but there's an order to it. A man lives, builds, and covers his own. A son honors, but when a man forgets to live, he paused, he stays a boy in a grown body, and no real woman can build a life with a boy.
She means well, Papa.
She does, but good intentions in the wrong hands become chains, and chains don't feel like chains when you've worn them since birth. He stood, placed a hand briefly on his son's shoulder, and went inside. Emeka stayed on the veranda until the rain finally made up its mind. Inside the house, he could hear his mother humming softly to herself, cheerful and unbothered, as she rearranged his wardrobe for the third time that week. He stared at the ceiling of his room that night, 30 years old, alone, and not entirely sure whose life he had been living. He thought of Adaize's proud eyes, Blessing's tired voice, Nneka's quiet letter. 3 women, 3 different reasons, one constant. The rain came down hard, and somewhere down the hall, his mother slept, peacefully, deeply, the sleep of a woman who believed she had done everything right. Anita Nwosu did not arrive in Emeka's life with drama. She simply appeared one Sunday morning in the 3rd row of Victory Assembly Church, navy blue dress, small Bible, and the kind of stillness that made you look twice. Not because she demanded attention, but because she seemed entirely unbothered of its absence. Emeka noticed her the way you notice something real in a room full of noise. Quietly, completely. They were introduced after service by Sister Pauline, the church's self-appointed matchmaker.
That is Anita. Good family, quiet spirit, excellent cook. I have tasted her jollof with my own mouth.
Sister Pauline, I'm not looking for a caterer.
You are 35 and still coming to church alone. Go and greet the woman. He went. They spoke for 10 minutes. Something in Emeka settled, the way a window settles after you open it in a stuffy room. 2 months of Sunday conversations, phone calls, and evening walks followed. Anita was not performing. She was not auditioning. She simply showed up, honest, warm, and completely herself. Then one evening, she asked the question others had been too afraid to raise.
Emeka, why are you still single at 35? The real answer.
My mother has strong opinions about the women in my life. Strong enough that 3 women have left because of it.
And you? What did you do when they left? Not enough. I appreciate that. Most men would have lied, but wanting to change and actually changing are very different things. I know, but I'm asking you to let me try with you. She answered 3 days later, simply over the phone.
I'll give us a chance. But I will not compete with anyone for the position of your wife. Not now, not ever.
You won't have to. Don't promise me, show me. When Mama Emeka heard about Anita, she appeared at Victory Assembly 2 Sundays later, unannounced, front row, finest Ankara. The introduction was unavoidable.
Mama, this is Anita.
Good afternoon, Ma. God bless you.
You are small. Does she eat well?
Mama, I eat very well, Ma, and I cook even better. Mama Emeka looked at her. Really looked. Most girls flinched under her gaze. This one had not. On the drive home, Emeka turned to his mother.
So, what do you think?
She's too calm. A woman that calm is hiding something.
Or she simply has peace, Mama. That carried 1,000 unspoken objections. But this time, Emeka kept his eyes on the road and said nothing more. It was Papa Emeka who finally moved things forward. He called Emeka one quiet afternoon.
This Anita, do you love her? Then go and marry her. I will handle your mother.
Are you sure? You know how she gets.
I have been patient with Ngozi for 40 years. But I will not watch her steal the last chance my son has at happiness. You focus on your wife.
For the first time in 35 years, someone stood fully in front of Emeka and told him to go and live. He went. The wedding was simple. Tuesday in November, Harmattan air, white canopy, plastic chairs. Mama Emeka sat in the front row. Asoebi pressed, smile thin, lips sealed. Papa Emeka sat beside her, calm and immovable. When the pastor asked for objections, the church held her breath for 3 full seconds. Mama Emeka said nothing. Emeka and Anita said, I do.
It was not a fairy tale beginning, but after 35 years of waiting, it was everything. The first 2 weeks of marriage were quiet in the way that mattered. Morning tea in comfortable silence. Evenings where Anita hummed while cooking, and Emeka sat close enough to let her know he was present. Small arguments about ordinary things. The ceiling fan's speed, which side of the bed got the extra pillow. The gentle negotiations of two people learning to share a life. Anita had begun to exhale. She should have known that exhaling was premature. On a Thursday morning, 14 days after the wedding, a car pulled into the compound. Footsteps that did not hesitate, and a voice that filled the house before its owner had even entered it.
Emeka, we are here, oh! Come and help with the bags!
Anita stepped out of the kitchen, hands still damp. Behind Mama Emeka stood Kamsi, arms folded, eyes already scanning the house with quiet judgment. Behind them both, a driver was unloading bags. Not one, not two, 5 bags, and a cooler.
Good morning, Ma. We weren't expecting.
Expecting? Is this not my son's house? I came to teach you. You are a new wife. There are things you don't know yet.
Emeka appeared, still buttoning his shirt. He read the room in one glance. His mother settled on the sofa like she owned it, Kamsi already opening kitchen cupboards, Anita standing very still with an expression he was learning to recognize as controlled pain.
Mama, you didn't call.
I am your mother. Do mothers call before they come?
In a married home, yes, that is the respectful thing. You are talking like a stranger. We are family. She did not leave that evening. By the weekend, it was clear Mama Emeka and Kamsi had moved in. The teaching began. And it was nothing like teaching. The first morning, Anita woke early and prepared breakfast. Eggs, fried plantain, tea. She set the table carefully.
Emeka does not eat eggs in the morning. They give him heat.
He ate them last week and said nothing.
He was being polite. That is why I'm here.
She went into the kitchen and remade the entire breakfast. Emeka ate both without comment. Anita cleared the original plate alone. It continued. Every day a new correction. Every meal a new verdict.
This soup is watery. Anita, who taught you to cook?
Tell your mother she needs to go back to school. Kamsi laughed. Anita gripped the ladle and breathed. There were days the soup she cooked in the morning would be mysteriously saltier by afternoon. Floors she mopped were pointed at as still dirty. One evening, she found her bedroom curtains had been changed while she was at the market.
She changed our curtains. The ones we chose together.
I'll talk to her.
You said that about the breakfast. And the soup. I am not asking you to choose, Emeka. I am asking you to lead. There is a difference.
He spoke to his mother that night.
Mama, I love you. Nothing will change that. But this is my home. Anita is my wife. What is happening here is not right. I need it to stop.
Mama Emeka stood, adjusted her wrapper with quiet dignity, and walked to her room. She did not apologize. She did not change. But Emeka had spoken, finally, clearly. It was not enough to end the war, but it was enough to begin the turning. There is a particular exhaustion that comes not from work, but from being pulled in two directions by two people you love. It settles in the chest, follows you to bed, and is still there in the morning waiting before you have even opened your eyes. This was Emeka's life now. He had watched his father navigate his mother's storms with silence and patience his whole life. He had told himself he would be different, more vocal, stronger. But standing in the middle of his own home, between his wife's quiet endurance and his mother's loud entitlement, Emeka was discovering that knowing what to do and actually doing it were separated by a distance no one warned you about. He tried. Every day he tried.
Her food is fine, Mama. You don't have to remake it.
Fine? It is not fine. It needs more flavor. I am not remaking it. I am improving. There is a difference.
But Ma, I was just defending my wife.
So defending your wife means disrespecting your mother. God is watching you, Emeka.
When Kamsi mocked Anita at the dinner table, he shut it down.
Anita, who chose these curtains? They look like something from a student hostel.
We chose
them together, and they
stay.
Small victories, daily battles, and at night, behind their closed bedroom door, a wife who was grateful but quietly growing weary.
Do you ever get tired, Emeka?
Yeah, sometimes I do.
Then why does it keep continuing?
Because changing a person who doesn't believe they're wrong doesn't happen in weeks.
I'm not asking for miracles. I'm asking if you are still choosing me. Every day, actively choosing me. Yes, every day. Then I'll hold on. She always held on. That was both her strength and the thing that quietly broke his heart. that she had to hold on at all. The breaking point with Kamsi came on an ordinary Tuesday. Anita had been unwell, a mild fever, but enough to keep her in bed. She asked Kamsi politely for a glass of water and her medication from the kitchen shelf. Kamsi looked at her from the doorway.
You want me to bring you water? You are lying in bed asking me to serve you?
Kamsi, I'm not well. Get up and get it yourself. I am not your house help. She walked away. Anita lay there for a moment. Then she got up, made it to the kitchen door frame and held it for support. Dizzy, eyes glassy. She made her own tea because no one else had. Emeka arrived home 20 minutes later and found her there. The temperature in him dropped to something very cold and very calm.
Anita,
why
are you up? You said you weren't feeling well.
You said you meant feeling well. I needed water. Where is Kamsi? Emeka, leave it. Where is Kamsi? He found her in the living room watching television, entirely unbothered.
My wife is sick in that room. She asked you for water. You refused.
I am not her servant, Emeka.
She's not asking you to be her servant. She's asking you to be human. You are choosing that woman over your own blood? Mommy was right. She has changed you. Changed me? Kamsi, I am asking you to show basic decency to a sick woman in her own home. Her home? This is my mother's son's house. We were here before her and we will be here. What happened next was swift and regrettable. Emeka's hand came up. Not a full strike, but a sharp grab of Kamsi's pointing finger, pulling it down with a force that made her stumble backward and cry out. Silence exploded through the house. You slapped me because of her? You raised your hand at your own sister because of that woman? Emeka, what have you done? Kamsi, my daughter, what did he do to you? Kamsi crossed a line. I should not have touched her, but she crossed a line. This is what that woman has turned my son into, a man who beat his sister. Anita, come and see what you have caused. Anita appeared from the hallway, pale, still feverish, wrapping her arms around herself. She looked at the scene before her husband's heaving chest, her sister-in-law's tears, her mother-in-law's performance. Then she did the thing that silenced the room more than any shout could.
You shouldn't have touched her. Whatever she did, that was wrong.
Everyone stared at her. I did not ask your brother to do that, and I'm sorry it happened. Kamsi blinked. The wailing slowed. Even Mama Emeka went quiet, caught off guard by the one response she had not prepared for. Grace. Emeka looked at his wife and felt something deep shift inside him. Not guilt, but clarity. This woman standing before him, sick and steady, had just shown more character in one moment than this household had seen in weeks. Later that night, alone in their room, he sat on the edge of the bed. I'm sorry for all of it, for not ending this sooner. End it now then, not tomorrow, now. I'll ask them to leave in the morning. And if your mother never forgives you, then I'll have to live with that. But I cannot keep asking you to live with this. He had finally arrived, fully, completely on the right side of his own marriage. It had cost him, but the man sitting on that bed was no longer a boy caught in the middle. He had chosen, and this time, the choosing had made him free. No one announced it. No one predicted it. Life simply returning what had been given, coin for coin, wound for wound. It started with a wedding. Kamsi's introduction ceremony was the loudest the compound had seen in years. Asoebi in burnt orange and gold, a generator that did not fail, a groom named Tobena, tall, soft-spoken, with a smile that made the older women nudge each other approvingly. Mama Emeka wept throughout the ceremony. Happy tears, she insisted, though anyone watching closely might have noticed she wept loudest during the moment Kamsi was presented to Tobena's family. As though something was being taken, as though she recognized the feeling but could not name why it unsettled her. Anita attended with quiet grace. She danced when others danced, ate when food was served, and said nothing unkind, though she had every reason to. How are you doing? I'm fine. She deserves to be happy. Whatever happened between us, I don't carry it today. How do you do that? Do what? Let things go so cleanly. I don't let them go, I just refuse to let them lead. Kamsi left for her husband's house in Asaba 2 weeks after the wedding. The compound felt different without her, lighter in some ways, quieter in others. Mama Emeka called her every morning, long calls, the kind where the person doing most of the talking is actually doing most of the worrying. For 3 months, everything seemed fine. Then the calls got shorter.
Kamsi did not pick up again. That is the third time today.
She's a married woman, Gozi. She's busy. Busy does not mean you cannot answer your mother. No, but sometimes a new home is more complicated than it looks from outside. He said nothing more,
But the way he said it made Mama Emeka set down her phone and stare at the wall for a long moment. The first sign came through a cousin who had visited Asaba and returned with careful words and careful eyes. The second sign came when Kamsi called at midnight, and the call lasted only 40 seconds before the line went dead.
Mama Emeka redialed 7 times. No answer. What was happening in Tobena's house was this. His mother, a compact, iron-willed woman named Mama Tobena, had welcomed Kamsi the way a landlord welcomes a tenant. Politely, conditionally, with a clear understanding of who owned what. The kitchen was Mama Tobena's domain. Kamsi's cooking was tolerated, occasionally tasted, and consistently found lacking. Her arrangements were adjusted, her opinions were unrequested, her presence was managed. Tobena himself was devoted. To his mother first and entirely. He was not a cruel man. He simply could not see what was happening because he had never been taught to look. Sound familiar?
This tea is too light. Tobena likes it strong. How many times must I say this?
Ma, I made it the way he asked me.
He was being polite. My son is too kind to complain. Kamsi froze. Those words, that exact sentence, she had heard them before. Or rather, she had said them before. In a different kitchen to a different woman. She set the teapot down slowly.
Your mother remade the tea I prepared. In front of me.
She just wants things a certain way. You get used to it.
Get used to it? She means well, Kamsi. She's my mother. Something cold passed through Kamsi's chest. She means well. She had heard those words too, from Emeka, in defense of Mama Emeka during the early weeks of Anita's torment. She sat with that memory for a long time. The months that followed were a quiet education. Every meal scrutinized, every choice questioned. Every room she tried to make her own was subtly unmade. She was not beaten, she was not starved, but she was systematically reminded, daily, expertly, that she did not fully belong. Tobena watched. And like Emeka once had, he redirected, apologized on his mother's behalf, and asked Kamsi to be patient. Unlike Emeka, he never fully chose her.
Tobena, I need you to talk to her. Really talk to her. I cannot continue like this.
Kamsi, she is elderly. She doesn't mean any harm. Let's just keep the peace.
Keep the peace? I am dying quietly in this house, and you want me to keep the peace?
She was not exaggerating. She went to the bathroom that night, sat on the edge of the tub and wept, deeply, privately, the kind of crying that has no audience and no performance. Just a woman and the weight of what she had finally come to understand. She thought of Anita, standing at that stove, feverish, making her own tea because no one would, clearing a breakfast plate that had been pushed aside, holding herself together in a home that kept trying to unmake her.
Oh God, is this what I did to her?
No one answered, but the silence was answer enough. Karma does not arrive with noise or announcement. It arrives wearing the face of your own actions, and it makes you sit with them until you truly understand. Kamsi came home on a Friday. No phone call ahead, no announcement. Just a taxi that pulled into the compound at midday. A single bag, and a face that had clearly been crying for longer than one day. Mama Emeka was at the gate before the car had fully stopped.
My daughter, what happened? What did he do to you? Talk to me.
Nobody did anything, Mama. I just needed to come home. Nobody did anything. You look like this and nobody did anything. I will call Tobena's people today. Today I'll let them know. Mama, please, not now. There was something in Kamsi's voice that Mama Emeka had never heard before. Not anger, not drama. Just a flat, exhausted quiet that stopped even her. She led her daughter inside without another word. Emeka and Anita heard the news by evening. They came, not because they were summoned, but because that is what family does, even complicated family. Anita brought food. She always brought food. The house was tense in the particular way that houses get when something true is about to be said, and everyone is waiting to see who will say it first. It was Kamsi. She found Anita in the kitchen, alone, quietly arranging the food she had brought into serving dishes. Kamsi stood at the doorway for a moment, watching her, the same way she had once watched her with calculation and contempt. This time, she watched her with recognition.
Can I talk to you? Of course, what's on your mind?
Without Emeka or Mama in the room, Anita set down the spoon, turned, looked at Kamsi fully. The red-rimmed eyes, the tightness around her mouth, a posture of a woman who had rehearsed something and was now terrified to say it. She pulled out a kitchen chair. Sit down. Kamsi sat. And for a long moment, neither woman spoke. The only sound was the quiet hum of the refrigerator and the distant murmur of Emeka and his parents in the sitting room.
I owe you an apology. A real one, not the kind people give because they were told to or because they want something in return. I mean the kind that costs something. What I did to you in your home was wrong. The soup, the curtains that I owed to my brother, and I was trained that I was just king my ma.
Her voice cracked slightly. I told myself I was loyal to my mother, that I was protecting my brother, but I was just cruel, and I enjoyed it. That is the part I am most ashamed of. Anita's expression did not shift dramatically, but something behind her eyes softened. I understand now. I understand what it feels like to be in a home where you do everything right and it is never enough. Where someone is always watching you, waiting for you to feel. Where the person you married sees it and asks you to be patient. How long has it been like that for you? Almost from the beginning, I was too proud to say it. I kept thinking I could manage her the way I managed everything else. But you couldn't. No, because there is nothing to manage. You cannot manage someone who does not believe they are doing anything wrong.
The words landed in the room and stayed there. Both women sat with them because both women knew exactly who else those words described.
I forgive you, Kamsi. I have been carrying what you did for a long time. It was heavy. I am choosing to put it down. Not for you, but for me. Just like that?
Probably not, but that is what grace is. Kamsi covered her face with both hands and wept. Not the performed weeping of someone seeking pity, but the raw, relieved, undone kind. The kind that means something has finally broken loose. Anita did not move to hug her immediately. She let her cry. Sometimes that is the most respectful thing, to let a person feel the full weight of what they are releasing. Then, quietly, she reached across the table and held Kamsi's hand. The harder conversation came later that evening. Kamsi sat across from Mama Emeka in the sitting room. Emeka was present. Papa Emeka sat in his corner chair, the one he always occupied when something important was about to be decided.
Mama, I need to tell you something. And I need you to hear me. Not as my mother defending me, but as a woman who loves me enough to listen. Tobena's mother treated me the way we treated Anita. Exactly that way. And I finally understand what we did.
It is not the same. It is exactly the same, Mama. The food, the corrections, the feeling that nothing you do is ever right, that you are a guest in your own home. That is what Anita felt. Every day, because of us. Mama Emeka opened her mouth, then closed it. For the first time in a very long time, she had no words. Papa Emeka watched her from his corner, not with judgment, but with the patient eyes of a man who had been waiting years for this exact moment. Mama, nobody is attacking you. We are just asking you to see. Mama Emeka looked at her son, then at Kamsi's tired face, then toward the kitchen where Anita was quietly finishing what she had come to do, feeding a family that had not always deserved her. Something crossed Mama Emeka's face. Not a full reckoning, not yet. Those take time. But the beginning of one. The house that was full of control had finally met something stronger. Truth.
spoken by the last person anyone expected. And for the first time, it had been heard. Change does not arrive like thunder. It arrives like Harmattan morning, slow, quiet, almost unnoticeable until you look back and realize the air has been different for a while, that the house feels lighter, that people are breathing differently. That was how it came to the Okafor household. Mama Emeka did not apologize immediately. She was not the kind of woman who arrived at breakfast and said, "I was wrong," with clean eyes. She was the kind who processed quietly, measuring herself against things she had heard and could not unhear. The first sign came 3 weeks after Kamsi's return. Mama Emeka arrived at Emeka's house. She called ahead now, always, carrying a pot of ofe onugbu she had cooked at home and handed it to Anita at the door.
I made this morning, Emeka's favorite. I thought you might want to serve it for dinner.
She did not say, "I'm sorry," but she handed a pot of food to her daughter-in-law and offered her the credit for it. For Mama Emeka, that was enormous. Anita received it with both hands. "Thank you, Ma. Come in. The tea is still hot." They sat together in the kitchen for the first time without tension as the third guest in the room. Not warm yet, but honest. Two women and the quiet agreement to try. Kamsi had returned to Asaba because marriage is not abandoned at the first wound, but she returned differently. She sat Tobena down one evening and spoke plainly.
I am not asking you to choose between us. I am asking you to lead. There is a difference.
Anita's words borrowed now. They landed exactly where they needed to. Tobena went quiet. Then he nodded and slowly began to listen. Kamsi called Anita that night. "I used your words. I hope that's okay." "Did they work?" He actually looked at me, like he was seeing something for the first time. That's all you needed, for him to look. "I never looked at you. Not really. You are looking now. That's what matters." Emeka found his father one Sunday on the veranda, the same veranda where years ago he had asked if he would ever marry.
You told me chains don't feel like chains when you've worn them since birth.
Yes, and breaking them is how you grow.
I think I'm finally free. It was slower than I expected.
The best things in life often are, my son.
But the things worth keeping do not break when you tell the truth. They only break when you keep swallowing it. The apology came on a quiet Wednesday. No occasion, no audience, just Anita washing dishes and Mama Emeka watching her from the kitchen table. "Anita, I was not kind to you in the beginning." Anita turned off the tap, turned around, said nothing, just gave her full attention. "I told myself I was protecting my son, but I was afraid of losing him, and I took that fear out on you. That was wrong. I know you love him, Ma. I never doubted that. But love without wisdom causes harm. Yes, it does. Can you forgive an old woman who took too long to see clearly?" "Yes, Ma. I can." Mama Emeka reached across the table and took Anita's hand. No tears, no speeches, just an old woman's hand in a young woman's hand and the quiet agreement to do better from here. That evening, the family gathered for dinner. No occasion, just food and people who had chosen, imperfectly and deliberately, to remain. Papa Emeka blessed the food. Emeka refilled everyone's water. Kamsi called from Asaba on video and laughed loudly about something that wasn't even that funny, but everyone laughed anyway. And Anita sat at the table she had fought quietly to keep and ate her food in peace.
Some houses are built with bricks, others with harder materials, truth, forgiveness, and the daily choice to love better than you were taught. The Okafor house had been both, and now, finally, it was whole.